Hello and welcome to Digital Signal Processing Online Lecture Series. Myself, Reema Rawat from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology. In today's session, we are going to see the topic Definition of Z Transform and ROC from the unit Z Transform and its applications to analysis of LTI systems, that is Linear Time Invariant Systems. So let's start with that. Before starting, let me tell you that this chapter is very important for you in this subject. The Z transform concepts will be there in the next subjects or your further semester subject as well. So please be attentive with this. First of all, let us see the definition of Z transform. Now the Z transform or definition of Z transform has two parts, which is called as one-sided Z transform and two-sided Z transform. And let us see the differences between these two. So first we will see one-sided Z transform. So one-sided Z transform's definition is given as x of z, that is equals to summation of n equals to 0 to infinite x of n into z raised to minus n, and the two-sided Z transform is defined as two-sided Z transform. X of z, that is equals to summation of n equals to minus infinite to infinite x of n into z raised to minus n. So the difference between one-sided Z transform and two-sided Z transform is its range of n, right? So one-sided Z transform has the limit n equals to 0 to infinite, and two-sided Z transform has the limit minus infinite to infinite. So according to this range of n, the Z transform has two types, one-sided Z transform and two-sided Z transform. Okay. In the example given to you, you will use this Z transform according to your range, and according to the range given to you of n, you will find the x of z. Now Z transform, what it does actually, it transforms the given sequence, that is in discrete time sequence, into Z domain. So whenever you find the Z transform, the original time sequence or else time domain sequence will be converted into Z domain, right? So whenever it is asked you to find the Z transform, that means you will find x of z from the given x of n. Okay. Now let us see one example of Z transform. Let's say for example, you are asked to find the Z transform x of n, that is equals to 1, 2, 3, 1, and arrow is at the first position. So this is the discrete time sequence given to you, of which you need to find the Z transform. So according to the definition of Z transform, x of z is given as summation of n equals to minus infinite to infinite x of n into z raised to minus n, right? But over here the range of n is what? 0 to 3, right? 0, 1, 2 and 3. So here the range will be modified as summation of n equals to 0 to 3 x of n into z raised to minus n, right? So according to the data given to you, you need to modify the range from the standard definition of Z transform, and according to that you need to find the x of z from the given x of n, right? So now let us place the values of n from 0 to 3. First of all, we will place n equals to 0 in this, that will be x of 0 into z raised to 0, plus now next will be n equals to 1, so that will be x of 1 into z raised to minus 1. Now n equals to 2, that will be x of 2 into z raised to minus 2, and now n equals to 3, so it will be x of 3 into z raised to minus 3, right? Now we will place the values according to the data given to you. Now x of 0 over here, that is where n equals to 0, the value of x of n is 1. So we will place over here 1 into z raised to 0, that is 1, So plus x of 1, where x of 1 is 2. So we will place over here x of 1, which is 2, into z raised to minus 1, plus now x of 2 given to you is 3. So here we will place 3 into z raised to minus 2. X of 3, that is at n equals to 3, you are given 1. So that is 1 into z raised to minus 3. Right? So here we can say that x of z, that is equals to 1 plus 2z raised to minus 1 plus 3z raised to minus 2 plus z raised to minus 3, right? Or else you can write like this as well, that is 1 plus 2 by z plus 3 by z square plus 1 upon z raised to 3. So this is the z transform from the given discrete time sequence. Okay. So in Z transform, you are converting the time domain sequence into Z domain according to the range given to you. So now let us consider one more example for which we have to find the Z transform of the sequence given as x of n, that is equals to 1 2 3 1, that is the same sequence which we have considered earlier, but here we are going to place the arrow at the last position, right? So we are going to find the Z transform as the previous method as well. So according to the definition of Z transform, we are going to say that x of z, that is equals to summation of n equals to minus infinite to infinite x of n into z raised to minus n. Now over here let us define the range of n. So this is 0, this indicates minus 1, this is minus 2 and this is minus 3. So we can say that the range of n equals to minus 3 to 0, right? So this will be the range minus 3 to 0. So now let us place first of all n equals to minus 3, then n equals to minus 2, minus 1 and 0, and we will place the values accordingly. So first of all let us take n equals to minus 3. So x of minus into z raised to minus of minus 3 plus x of minus 2 into z raised to minus n, that is minus of minus 2 plus next instant is minus 1. So x of minus 1 into z raised to minus 1 with z raised to minus n, and the last instant n equals to 0. So that is x of 0 into z raised to 0, right? Now x of minus 3 given to you over here is 1. So here we will place 1 into z raised to minus minus plus, that is plus 3, plus x of minus 2. X of minus 2 is what? 2. So this is 2 into z raised to plus 2 plus x of minus 1. X of minus 1 given to you is 3. So that is 3 into z raised to plus 1, and the last x of 0 is 1 and z raised to 0 is 1, right? So now you can say that over here x of z, that is equals to z raised to 3 plus 2z square plus 3z plus 1. So this is the Z transform of the sequence given to you. Now let us see the difference between these two. So in the previous example, as you can see, we are having the same data 1 2 3 1, and the next example we have seen in which the data is also same 1 2 3 1, right? But the difference is according to its arrow. So in this example we have taken the arrow at the first position, that means n equals to 0 is one instant, that is value 1. So in the answer we have seen that the power of z is inverse, that is minus. Why? Because according to the definition of Z transform, what happens is x of n into z raised to minus n. That means whatever the instant is n, it will be the inverse in the power of z, right? So for the positive instance we have obtained the negative power of z, and in the next example, as we have taken arrow in the last position, we have obtained the power of z positive. Why? Because for the negative values of n we are getting the positive power of z according to the definition, right? So while finding the z transform of the given data sequence, always remember that you need to define the range particularly of the n, and then according to that you will have to place the values. Okay. Now next important term in Z transform is ROC. Now what is ROC? ROC is defined as a set of values in which Z transform has the finite values. That means whenever you are asked to find the ROC of the particular data sequence or else discrete time sequence, we will do two types or two steps in that. We will find for the values Z equals to 0 and Z equals to infinite. In whatever the instant it goes to the infinite value, in that ROC not converges, right? So we will define the Z plane, and according to that we will find the ROC. So in short, ROC, that is region of convergence, is the set of values for the Z transform or else X of Z in which it has the finite set of values. Okay. So let us see the significance of ROC. So the first significance of ROC is ROC will decide whether a system is stable or unstable, and second is ROC also determines the type of sequence, that means whether it is causal or non-causal, or it is finite or infinite. Okay, so these are the significance of ROC. And now the next and most important is properties of ROC. So these are the properties of ROC. The first property of ROC is ROC of Z transform is indicated with the circle in Z plane. That means what? Whenever we are finding the ROC of any X of Z, we will take the plane like this, which we will call it as Z plane, with the real part of Z on this axis and imaginary part of Z on this axis, right? And we will consider this Z plane, and for the particular range we will take the unit circle, and according to that we will define the range and we will define the ROC. Okay. Second, ROC does not contain any poles. That means ROC may contain zeros, but it does not contain any poles. Okay. The next property is if X of n is the finite duration causal sequence or right-sided sequence, then the ROC is entire Z plane except Z equals to 0. Okay, that means if the finite duration sequence is right-sided sequence, then ROC is entire Z plane except Z equals to 0, right? And the reverse case, that means next property is what? If X of n is a finite duration anti-causal sequence or else left-sided sequence, then the ROC is entire Z plane except Z equals to infinite. That means in this kind of sequence we will get infinite values in the region Z equals to infinite, and here we are getting the infinite values for Z equals to 0. This will be more clear to you when we solve the examples to find ROC of this. Now the next property is if X of n is a infinite duration causal sequence, ROC is exterior of the circle with radius Z equals to a. That means let's say for example here we are taking Z equals to 1, so this circle will be Z equals to 1, and if it is infinite duration causal sequence, then the ROC is exterior of the circle. That means it will be this part of the Z plane, that means exterior part of the circle with the radius Z equals to a, right? And if it is infinite duration anti-causal sequence, then it will be the interior of the circle with radius Z less than a. That means then it will be the interior part of this. Okay. And the last property is if X of n is a finite duration two-sided sequence, then the ROC is entire Z plane except Z equals to 0 and Z equals to infinite. That means now it will plot a ring. It will be something like this. So for that we are going to consider a plane, and if it is two-sided sequence, it will have the range of this. That means this range will not be there and this is not considered, that is Z equals to 0 and Z equals to infinite is not considered, but only a ring is considered for that. Okay, so these are the basic properties of ROC. Now let us see the example to find ROC. let's say for example you are asked to find the ROC of the sequence or else discrete time sequence given as x of n that is equals to 1, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So first of all, to find the ROC of the given data sequence, you need to convert it into Z domain, and then we are going to take two instances. That means first we will take Z equals to 0 and then we will take Z equals to infinite, and in whatever the instant we will get the positive values, that means non-infinite values, we are going to say that that is the ROC range. Okay. So first of all, let us find Z transform. So we will say that according to the definition of Z transform, we can say that x of z that is equals to summation of n equals to minus infinite to infinite x of n into z is to minus n. Over here the range is n equals to 0 to 3, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, x of n, z is to minus n. So same procedure which we have done earlier, similarly we are going to get the values x of 0, z is to 0, plus x of 1, z is to 1, plus x of 2, z is to 2, plus x of 3, z is to 3, right? But over here z is to minus n is there, so here it is minus 1, minus 2 and minus 3. So we will get 1 plus 3z inverse plus 2z is to minus 2 plus 1z is to minus 3 according to these values, right? Now let us place first of all z equals to 0 in this. So what we will get, x of 0 that will be equals to 1 plus 3 by z, that is 3 by 0, right? Plus this is called as 2 by z square, that means 2 by z square. Here z we have taken as 0, so 2 by 0 plus 1 by z is to 3, that means again 0. So 1 upon 0 will give you infinite, so this will give the values infinite. So at z equals to 0, this x of z is infinite. Now let us find z equals to infinite range. So here we will get x of infinite. So now when we will place the values over here, so this will be 1 plus 3 by z, that means 3 by infinite, because over here we have taken z equals to infinite, plus 2 by z square, that means 2 by infinite, plus 1 by infinite, because we can say that this is 1 plus 3 by z plus 2 by z square plus 1 by z cube, because over here the power is negative. So this will be 0, 1 upon infinite will give you 0. So these three terms will be 0. So it will be 1, right? So we have got the values x of 0 that is infinite and x of infinite that is 1, right? So now when we have to say that what is ROC, so the answer will be like this, that here ROC is entire z plane except z equals to 0. Why? Because here for z equals to 0 we have got the infinite value, and ROC is that range where the x of z has the finite set of values, right? So over here we have observed that for z equals to 0 the answer is infinite, so we can say that ROC is entire z plane except z equals to 0, right? So similarly, when any data is given to you, you need to find the two instance values. That means for z equals to 0 you will find x of z, that is x of 0, and for z equals to infinite you will find x of z, that is x of infinite, and in whatever the instant the value is finite, ROC is that entire z plane. Okay, So if in particular example you may have got that z equals to infinite value is infinite and z equals to 0's value is finite, then you will say that ROC is entire z plane except z equals to infinite. Okay, so this is how you can find the ROC of the given data sequence. Okay. Now in further session we will see the basic Z transform of the basic signals like unit impulse signal, exponential signals, delta signals likewise, and we will see the properties and the examples on Z transform. These are the references. Thank you. Thank you for listening.